Welcome both to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
You two play sisters. You are young mothers caring for an ailing father on his deathbed. What do you think are the big themes in the film?
Oh my goodness. I think it's the roles we play in our families, how it's very easy to default to those roles when we go home, and how incapable we are of seeing the people who are right in front of us.
He's gone.
No, he would have called if something like that happened.
I don't know. It's just weird. He's sitting there.
There's a lot of tension and built up emotions.
That feels like the starting place and the heart of the film, as well as what it means to preemptively grieve for someone that's passing and the roles we play.
Clearly there's an issue with the three of us. I didn't even know it was between us. Regardless, she lives here, you live far away. It makes sense for me to be the one to step out for a while.
He's going to die, and you will not be here, and you'll never forgive me. I'm sorry. I don't want you to leave. I want the three of us to figure something out, some way that we can do what we can to get along, at least for now.
I thought we were just fine. You and I? That was a surprise.
Katie, I was mad. I got angry. Allow me to say things, okay? I was scared.
In a small, cramped New York apartment on film, it felt more like a theater piece in many ways. I think audiences now love you in the Gilded Age and see you in this big role.
Heavens, what a vision. The whole audience will be looking at you.
You are sweet.
How do you contrast that to what you were able to do here?
Well, I think it does unfold like a theater piece in that it's very language forward. And again, we told the story in order, which is that's what you do in the theater and rarely in TV and film. But it couldn't be captured this way in the theater because what Azazel has also done is he used the space as a metaphor for, the characters. They start off almost as stereotypes. It's the way the sisters are occurring to each other. And then as the sisters' point of view gets complicated, so does the audience's point of view. It's so tightly structured. It's so beautifully and specifically written. And that's what makes it an extraordinary film.
And your performance is so naturalistic. I mean, again, my sons and I love you in WandaVision. We think of you as a Marvel character. But in this, it's very, spare and stripped down. Were there a lot of rehearsals?
Yes, we had rehearsals. We had about 3 days. We had a few days of us getting to figure out the rhythm and the musicality of the language and how we all worked as a unit and also kept our own space. And before every job I try to get in the headspace of the director I'm working with by just watching films that have made impressions on them, even if they're not direct references for the actual piece. I hope to always have some sort of grounded honesty, even in these larger-than-life Marvel films. I think that's always a goal of mine, is to figure out how to constantly ground these characters in some real emotions.
I think Lizzie can't help but tell the truth in everything she does. And I think that's why your work in the Marvel Universe resonates so strongly with people, because I've done it, and it's really hard to imagine those settings.
We are an unusual couple,
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
I always believe everything you do, and to be in the presence.
You come across as a real person, even while you're playing
in anything she's doing. And to watch her elucidate those monologues in this piece, it was just like, spinning light out of air.
And I mentioned the apartment and the fact that it's shot on film. I think of all these, frankly, Woody Allen movies where I'm like, there is no New York apartment that looks like that. There was something very realistic.
It's a rent-controlled apartment on the Lower East Side.
Is that right?
Yes. From the beginning, I've understood I was in your place.
It's your place, too. I know it. You know it.
But you live here. You were on the lease.
All right, that's the second time you mentioned this leash. What is that? What are you trying to say? And you brought it up, too, outside. So what's up with this?
Nothing, just the fact. When he dies, this becomes your place.
Oh, and you think that's what I want, that I give a shit about the place?
Sorry, let's just keep our voices down.
And do you think the fact that it was shot on film, what did you take away when you went into those screening sessions?
When you're actively shooting on film, you have to be very deliberate with how you're covering a scene. And so it actually creates these limitations and this structure of how you're going to shoot in a really freeing way. So it was all incredibly intentional. and specific to how we were telling the story.
It sounds like a wonderful project to be a part of.
It was really special.
Lizzie, Carrie, thank you both for your thoughtful conversation, for your thoughtful careers. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
The film His Three Daughters is out today in select theaters and on Netflix beginning September 20th.